Welcome to Breaking Free Speech, the official podcast of Breaking Free Skatepark. I'm your host, Wrench. This is episode Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying, dude? You know what I'm saying. Today we're going to talk about bullying. Let's get it. Wow! Oh man, people are just really soft about the bullying thing. I know what you're thinking, dude. I've been bullied. It hurt my feelings. Oh my god. Ow, my freaking ears. Whatever. Obviously there are real cases of bullying. There are real cases of abuse. There are people that there is violence perpetrated against people, and it is unacceptable, right? And then there's a whole gray area. How do you determine what's bullying? Is your friend being like, yo, drop in, don't be a little, drop in, yo, come on, is that bullying? I don't know. It's an interesting question. What context decides whether that's just bullying or encouragement? I don't know. Is your girlfriend or boyfriend going on your phone and reading your messages cyberbullying? Is that domestic abuse? Is that violence? Some suggest it would be. I'm torn on the topic, to say the least. Us, you, me, us, the skate park goers, right? Totally different. We have a different view on these things because we know that there's risk taking in riding, and there's encouragement in riding, and it's like if you're not scared, you're not going to go in. So it gives you this like, okay, a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really say anything right there. I was just kind of rambling. Whatever. So what I thought I would do, in order to get to the bottom of this one, I wanted to go through simple definitions of words involved in this issue, which we are calling bullying, to kind of get to the bottom of it, to kind of get a little perspective on it. I hear a lot of people saying stuff. Some of it doesn't make sense to me. Some of it makes me think, really? Is that what people think it is? So I went on to, ready for this? The Google. And ready? Google has a dictionary, right? From a website called, phrase yourself, dictionary.com. It's crazy. You'll never guess what they do. They diction things. So, I'm going to just go down a couple definitions of words to outline the situations which may or may not be considered bullying. And to clarify, I am not talking about real deal abuse, violence, and bullying. I'm trying to shed a little more light in the gray areas of things to help you and I determine what is and isn't bullying. Because we know there are certain things that are undeniably bullying and violence and abuse, right? We all know that. So, as usual, we'll use a skate park analogy. My analogy, what we're going to go with here is if you're in the park, someone's giving you a hard time, is it bullying? And we could use this analogy to look at other situations, instances, which may or may not be considered bullying, okay? So, say you're on top of a ramp, right? Say you're doing really anything. You may have some trepidation. Noun. A feeling of fear or agitation about something that may happen. If anyone's ever given you a hard time, you certainly had trepidation of being around this person, right? You certainly have some trepidation when you're about to drop into a quarter pipe for the first time, right? Trepidation. That's the basis of it, right? So there's two routes that can go from here. One would be, is your friend engaging in encouragement? Is he or she going to encourage you? Verb. Give support and advice to someone so that they will do or continue to do something. Help or stimulate an activity, state, or view to develop. It's pretty straightforward. That's what encouragement is. Or is this person bullying you? Also a verb, which is to seek harm, intimidate, coerce someone perceived as vulnerable. Okay? So, there's a big distinction there. A bully is seeking to harm, intimidate, coerce someone that is perceived as vulnerable. So by the dictionary definition, if they don't perceive you as vulnerable, chances are it's not bullying. Right? I want to define coerce there, just because it's not part of this whole thing, but you might not know what coerce means. Coerce means to persuade an unwilling person to do something, usually by force or threat. Okay, that makes sense, right? That's a lot of what. So, coercion, that's interesting there, right? So if you're on top of a ramp and you want to drop in, right? And you're thinking, I don't want to do it. And someone is trying to encourage you, right? They're certainly trying to coerce you because they're going to persuade you, who is seemingly somewhat unwilling to drop in, to do something. Are they using force or threats? Maybe that's where it gets gray. Maybe the difference in the persuasion is the force or the threat. That makes sense, right? Because the force or the threat is where the bully would seek harm, right? So then we need to define harm, right? Harm is a verb. Physically injure, damage the health of, have an adverse effect on. This is a big one for me. The harm definition is where the road really splits on these issues. So the two of the three definitions of harm, physically injure, damage the health of. Those are pretty clear, especially the physically injure. So when it comes to something like dating violence or like domestic violence, like if there's physically like injury happening, unacceptable, bullying, wrong, violence, harmful, terrible. Damage the health of, well, that can get a little bit gray because there's a whole mental health issue, right? So if someone's trying to encourage you to drop in, and they're not exactly using coercion, but their insistent encouragement for you to drop in gets to the point where it damages your maybe mental state, which you could define as your mental health. Well, then, are they causing harm? That's a little bit more vague. When you say the third definition of harm, having an adverse effect on, well, now that gets even grayer. So we should probably define adverse. Adjective, preventing success, development, harmful, unfavorable. Okay, well then. So if someone's trying to encourage you to drop in, let me rephrase that. If someone is trying to encourage you to drop in, they are certainly not trying to prevent success or development, right? So even though you may perceive it as adverse by the definition of adverse within the definition of harm, well, then it wouldn't be bullying, right? Because what you're perceiving as harm is in fact not harm because it is not preventing success or development, right? Oh wow, we're starting to clear things up a little bit, right? So prevent success or development, harmful, obvious, because harmful. We're trying to clarify harm by using the word adverse, and adverse is being defined by harmful. So we could just write that one off, irrelevant. Unfavorable. Well, here's the grayest. We're going to run with this, the most gray definition within this word, right? Unfavorable. Adjective. Expressing or showing lack of approval or support. Adverse. Inauspicious. Well then, let's write off adverse because we're defining unfavorable by adverse, and adverse is unfavorable, so they're just synonyms, so we're going to write those off. Forget it, okay? Expressing or showing a lack of approval or support. Okay. That makes sense, right? But then we have this word, inauspicious. What the hell is inauspicious? Well, type it into the dictionary. Let's figure it. Let's investigate. Inauspicious, adjective, not conducive to success, unpromising. Well, we're right back up to within the definition of harm, adverse. So inauspicious and adverse are pretty similar. Again, is the thing the person is saying to you not conducive to success? Unpromising. Well, I guess, maybe we're not clear on exactly what success is. Because in the context of dropping in, it's very obvious. Success means, at a minimum, attempting to drop in, and at a maximum, proficiently learning to drop in. But in other contexts, which may or may not be bullying, we need to define success. So success is a noun. It's the accomplishment of an aim or a purpose. Well, that's pretty obvious. We all know what an accomplishment is. But the accomplishment is laying in a foundation of a purpose. Right? Now we're really starting to get to the bottom of this. I use the analogy foundation because it's the bottom. Get it? A purpose is a noun. It is the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. Makes sense, right? What's the purpose? Well, I want to drop in. The purpose is dropping in. The success is dictated by me aiming to drop in. Pretty obvious, right? But there's another word within purpose here. The reason for which something. So in order for you to be successful, you need to have a purpose. Well, in order for you to have a purpose, there must be a reason for the purpose. So we're really getting to the bottom of things now, right? Reason. A cause, explanation, or justification for an action or an event. There you go. There is your breakdown. Are they just pulling your leg, or are they bullying? Well, are they encouraging? Are they harming you? Is it adverse? Is it unfavorable? Is it auspicious? Is it impeding a success? Is what you see as success defined by a purpose? Is the purpose of that success based in some sort of sound reason? I don't know. It's pretty interesting. So, I'm recording. Jump on in. There's coffee in the pot. Looks like Blaze just showed up, but yeah. So I know, sometimes it feels good to bust each other's balls a little bit, pull someone's leg, make some jokes, talk some smack. Lord knows I love talking smack. But what you, as the person talking smack, need to understand is, well, are you hurting that person? Or is what you're saying to them trying to impede their success in some way? That's really the bottom. That comes down to the bottom of it. What's up, Blaze?
What's up, dude?
We're talking about bullying.
Oh.
Cyberbullying. Yeah. I'm 15 minutes in, so I'll wrap this up pretty quick here.
Ooh.
But either way, the cardinal rule at the skate park, what is it?
Don't be a dick.
Yes. Don't be a dick.
Wait.
And if you're at the skate park, don't be a dick. And that also pertains to skate park related things. You know, if you're on Instagram, you're commenting, you're being a dick, don't be a dick. A lot of these gray areas of bullying can be resolved by just not being a dick.
Yeah.
Duh.
Be stoked on your friends.
Yeah, don't go talking smack on people at the park. Don't go talking crap behind their back. Just because they can't hear it doesn't mean it's not wrong. Maybe it's not bullying, but it's not right. Right?
I agree.
Don't be a dick, man.
You are fake news.
bullshit. That's it for today. Be nice to your friends, alright? Don't make me come after you. I hear everything that happens. I'm the eyes and ears of this organization. Yeah. I'll see you at the skate park later, guys. Need more coffee.